Mary Lee Taylor program. Brought to you by Pet Milk, America's first evaporated milk. Yes, it's Mary Lee Taylor time. Time to enjoy another recipe of the week from Mary Lee Taylor's Friendly Kitchen. Everybody in Mary Lee's kitchen has been working like a beaver for the past few weeks on a new collection of recipes for candies, cookies, and other holiday treats. And today the collection is complete and ready to send you. It's brand new, it's wonderful, it's yours for the asking. Just write to Mary Lee Taylor, care of this station, or to Pet Milk, St. Louis, Zone 1, Missouri, and say you want holiday recipes. That's the name of the book, Holiday Recipes. And now it's Mary Lee on NBC.
Hello, this is Mary Lee Taylor, extending a warm welcome to all of you from all of us here in my NBC kitchen. First, a word about our recipe of the week.
Yeah, what is that smells so good, Mary Lee?
It's turkey chowder, Dale. A wonderful way to use any leftover turkey, chicken, duck, or guinea hen.
Chowder, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's just, kind of a glorified name for soup, isn't it?
Well, not exactly. A chowder is always thicker and more hearty than the usual soup. And we call this turkey chowder because it's so hearty and satisfying it's almost a meal in itself.
Well, in that case, I bet you're really going to beat the high cost of living with today's meal.
Well, today's meal, I think, is perfect for lunch or supper, especially on the day following a holiday when most people eat a little too much. And this meal, delicious and satisfying as it is, costs only 76 cents for 4 big servings if you use leftover turkey or other poultry to use for making the chowder.
And just in case you didn't realize it, you can save money every time you buy milk for your family when the milk you buy is Pet evaporated milk. Because Pet is good, sweet, whole milk, concentrated to double richness, it's perfect for coffee or cereals just as is. And in recipes calling for ordinary milk, you simply mix double-rich Pet milk with an equal amount of water. Yes, use Pet milk for all your milk needs. It's a sure way to save money, for Pet milk costs less, generally, than any other form of milk. Right now, let's go out to Mary Lee Taylor's Friendly Kitchen where there's always something good to eat, and that I like.
You'll like the meal we've planned for today, too.
Yeah, that 76-cent number. I know a couple of places where I can buy a good lunch for 76 cents, but how you can serve 4 people for just that much money gets me.
Well, you can do it, as I mentioned earlier, if you have leftover turkey or other poultry for making the chowder. If you buy meat, especially for this purpose, you would have to add that to the cost of the meal.
Oh, I see. So we start
with big bowls of turkey chowder.
Sure, but that's just a starter, just something to whet your appetite.
That's what you think. Wait till you taste this turkey chowder. It's made with turkey, rice, onion, milk, and seasonings. And even if you didn't have anything more than a big bowl of the chowder, you'd feel well fed.
Okay, I'm a reasonable guy. As a matter of fact, I always say on a day like this, give me a good big bowl of homemade soup, and that's all I want. And then I keep looking around for something else. You know, a dessert maybe, or a salad, or something.
Well, then, do you think you could, with a clear conscience, put your official okay on a meal like this? Big bowls of turkey chowder, toasted cheese sandwiches, and a combination orange and grapefruit salad with whipped cranberry dressing and hot tea or coffee.
Oh, now you're talking. And if you'll just tell me how to make that turkey chowder and the whipped cranberry dressing, I'll do the fixing myself, because I'm a whiz at making toasted cheese sandwiches, and I can brew the best cup of coffee you ever tasted.
Well, you'll be getting the turkey chowder recipe in just a minute, and the recipe for whipped cranberry dressing is in our brand new book called Holiday Recipes. And I'd like to say right here that this collection of holiday recipes is one all of you really must send for. It gives directions for making delicious candies, including the smoothest, creamiest fudge imaginable, recipes for easy-to-make drop cookies and other special holiday cookies, for delicious candy stuffing, for dates, prunes, or figs, and dozens of ideas that will help make holiday preparations easier for you.
And remember, all you have to do is print your name and address and the title of the book, Holiday Recipes, on a postcard, and send the card to Mary Lee Taylor, care of this station, or to Pet Milk, St. Louis, Zone 1, Missouri. And now it's time to add another Mary Lee Taylor recipe to your collection, the recipe for turkey chowder. Think this piece of paper will be big enough for me to write the recipe on, Mary Lee?
Plenty big. It's a short and very easy recipe.
Okay, then I'll get going. Mary Lee Taylor's turkey chowder. What comes first?
First, cook slowly 1/3 cup finely cut onion.
I like any kind of soup as long as it has onion in it. Cook slowly 1/3 cup finely cut onion. Okay.
In 2 tablespoons shortening.
In 2 tablespoons shortening. Check. Cook the onion in the shortening until it's nice and brown, huh?
No, that's just what you don't do.
Oh.
Cook the onion slowly until it's yellow. But don't cook it longer than that.
Oh, all right. Then what?
Then add turkey bones.
Add turkey bones. Say, are you serious? Do you really use the bones?
Absolutely. A man might think that turkey or chicken bones are just tossed out. But every woman knows that it's a good idea to save all the bones and use them for soup, because they give soup or chowder a wonderful flavor.
Well, you're never too old to learn, I always say. So I've added the turkey bones. Now what?
Also add 3 1/2 cups of water.
3 1/2 cups water. Okay. I'll never question you again, MLT. What else?
1 teaspoon salt.
1 TSP salt. Okay, go ahead.
And 1/8 teaspoon pepper.
1/8 teaspoon pepper. Now that's turkey bones, water, salt, and pepper added to those onions that were cooked until yellow.
You're wonderful. That's exactly right. Then bring that mixture to a boil.
Bring to a boil. And then?
Then add 1/3 cup of rice.
Add 1/3 cup rice. Just plain, ordinary rice right out of the package?
I'll tell you more about the kind of rice to use later. Right now, just let's say it's raw rice that you add to the boiling water.
Suits me. What next?
Cover and boil slowly 30 minutes or until rice is tender, stirring now and then.
Whoa, now, wait a minute. That's a long one. Let's see. Cover and boil slowly. How long?
30 minutes or until rice is tender.
30 minutes or until rice is tender. And what was that about stirring?
Just stir now and then.
Okay. But there's something... Doesn't this powder have any turkey in it except the flavor you get from the bones?
Well, that brings me to the next direction. Remove bones.
Not even any bones now. Okay, I'll write it down. Remove bones.
Then add 2/3 cup of diced leftover turkey. That's the meat you've cut from the bones before adding the bones to the soup.
Well, now I feel better. Add 2/3 cup diced leftover turkey. But there's just one thing more that bothers me.
Next, stir in 1 1/3 cups pet milk.
Ah, at last. Stir in 1 1/3 cup pet milk. Now I'm a happy man because pet milk is...
No, not yet. The final recipe direction is heat thoroughly.
Okay. Heat thoroughly. Then ladle it out and bring those steaming bowls of Mary Lee Taylor turkey chowder to the table and watch how everybody in the family goes for this meal in a bowl.
And the recipe you've just heard makes enough chowder to serve 4 people generously.
Yes, and they'll say it's delicious. And you'll know it's nourishing because that 1 1/3 cups of pet milk puts into the chowder all the goodness and wholesomeness you'd get from 2 2/3 cups of rich whole milk. Why? Because pet is a concentrated milk. Good, sweet, whole milk, concentrated to double richness. And believe me, that double richness of pet milk makes your turkey chowder double good.
And now about the rice you use for making turkey chowder. It can be either the white or brown rice or the new converted rice.
Converted rice?
Yes, that's the creamy-colored kind that cooks white and that's had the B-complex vitamins and minerals ordinarily lost in the processing put back into the rice grain.
You know, that's something I'll never understand. Why do they keep taking things out of food and then putting them back in? Wouldn't it be easier to just leave them in the first place?
Well, the answer to that question could take hours, Dale. And for people who feel the way you do, there's the brown rice, which has the brown outer coat left on. And in that brown coat are the important minerals and vitamins.
Okay, make my turkey chowder with brown rice, please.
Well, if you do use the brown rice, though, you will need to cook it a little longer. Say 45 minutes instead of the 30 minutes called for in the recipe.
Well, that's all right with me, because I'll use some of those extra minutes to say that pet milk, so wonderful to use in cooking, is also a favorite form of milk for babies, because pet milk has what babies need for building strong, straight bones, sound teeth, and for making the very best of growth. And if you want a book that will really make it easier for you to care for and train your baby, Pet has it. Just ask Mary Lee Taylor to send you a copy of the Pet Baby Book. She'll be glad to.
Now, may I say something more about the rice?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were all finished with the rice.
Well, there's just one more tip that's important to remember. If you do use the ordinary white polished rice, it's best to wash it in cold water before you add it to the soup to remove the coat of powder, which always causes some stickiness.
Well, how about the brown rice, or that, what do you call it kind?
The brown rice doesn't need the cold water bath, and neither does the converted rice.
Converted, yeah, that's what I meant. By the way, Mary Lee, has anybody on this program mentioned the wonderful recipes in the grocery store folders?
No, but I hope everyone listening will pick up one of the recipe and meal planning folders that's featured in grocery stores along with the pet milk display.
I hope they'll pick up some pet milk, too. And tonight, for a half hour of honest-to-goodness musical enjoyment, tune in to Vic Damone on the Pet Milk Show with the Serenaders and Gus Henschen and the Pet Milk Orchestra. Vic Damone on the Pet Milk Show comes to you over most of these same NBC stations every Saturday night.
In just a second, I'll give you today's recipe for happiness. But first, a word about next Saturday's program. The recipe of the week for next Saturday is a quick, easy recipe for a traditional Christmas cake.
And that means you can count on hearing another happy half hour next Saturday morning when you tune in for Mary Lee on NBC. And now, today's recipe for happiness.
You are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. And now, until next Saturday, this is Mary Lee Taylor saying goodbye and happy homemaking.
Goodbye, Mary Lee Taylor, and good luck and good health to all of you from Pet Milk, the first evaporated milk. Today's story was written by Howard Bierman and directed by Al Champ. Del King speaking.